Oftentimes when Republicans make crazy accusations about Democrats, you can look to what they're up to and you realize that it's projection. They're accusing Democrats of doing what they're doing. And recently there was a story involving union workers that demonstrated just that. Now Trump had a giant crowd of union workers at a speech that he gave at a Shell petrochemical plant in Pennsylvania. This took place last week. And it turns out that the individuals who were there were paid. There was a monetary incentive there. In fact, let me go ahead and read what these union workers were told. Your attendance is not mandatory, said the rules that one contractor relayed to employees, summarizing points from a memo that Shell sent to union leaders a day ahead of the visit to the $6 billion construction site. But only those who showed up at 7 a.m., scanned their ID cards, and prepared to stand for hours through lunch, but without lunch, would be paid. Those who decided not to come to the site for the event would have an excused but non-paid absence, the company said, and would not qualify for overtime pay on Friday. So Donald Trump on various occasions has accused Democrats of paying people to show up to their events, or he's accused people of paying individuals to show up to protests. Really, in the meantime, Donald Trump is playing these games and paying individuals to show up to his speeches. Now, this has been pitched as a official presidential event, not a campaign event, but it was a campaign event. And I'm gonna give you some evidence to prove it. But Cenk, do you wanna jump in before I do that?
Yeah, so Trump often talks about these liberal protesters, they're funded by Soros. And does he have any evidence of that? No, reporters have looked into it. No, it turns out liberals are actually really pissed at Donald Trump and they don't need Soros to tell them that. And so why do they do that? I've told you this historically, the right wing always does this. The Tea Party was mad about the bank bailouts. Did they ever protest the banks? Nope, because the Koch brothers pulled up with giant buses that already had anti-Obamacare slogans painted on the buses. They took the Tea Party guys and drove them to protest against Obamacare rather than the bank bailouts, because the Koch brothers also benefited from the bank bailouts. So this is what the Republicans always do, because they don't have any grassroots support. So it's not like they don't have any voters, they do. But are there people like, and during Obama, they hated him so much, mainly based on his race, that they were like, what is he proposing? To give us healthcare? God damn it, I don't want healthcare, right? So yeah, there are those guys. But are there guys going like, I need a capital gains tax cut for the rich. I'm gonna go protest to make sure the rich get tax cuts. No, there's no grassroots support for that at all. So they have to pay people off. And famously, Trump paid off the people at his first rally when he announced for president. He paid actors $50 to show up.
Oh, sad.
That's so sad. But he's such a crook and he's such an idiot that by his nature, he never pays anyone. Because he's a scam artist anyway. So the company that he paid or was supposed to pay off the actors to show up, it turns out he didn't pay them. So they filed a complaint with the FEC saying this guy owes us $12,000 for the actors we brought to his stupid escalator rally, and he won't pay the $12,000 bill. And then finally, Trump had to pay it 4 months later.
It's amazing.
It's a fact. You can go look it up, Washington Post, anywhere you want. He was
fake news.
And by the way, if you know who suggested to him to hire actors? Roger Ailes. Because Roger Ailes knows this guy's pathetic. He doesn't have any real followers. Hey, buy actors. We fake everything on the right wing anyway. So then now he makes you poor union guys. Hey, if you want to get paid for the day, then you better show up and applaud. And they even had instructions to not boo him.
Yeah, I want to get to that because that's important. Because not only are they forced to show up to this thing if they want to get paid, but they have some pretty strict guidelines and rules. Now, there was one union leader who was willing to talk to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette about the pay involved. This union leader wished not to be named because he did not want to make trouble for his workers. He said 1 day of work might amount to about $700 in pay, benefits, and a per diem payment that out-of-town workers receive. So if you're gonna miss out on that much pay, you're gonna show up to this thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be spun as part of I mean, they're not officially saying that it's part of Trump's campaign. They're saying this is not a campaign event. But it was a campaign event. We have evidence to prove it, including the videos he put out. By the way, the guidelines and the rules for anyone who did attend: no yelling, shouting, protesting, or anything viewed as resistance will be tolerated at the event. An underlying theme of the event is to promote goodwill from the unions. Your building trade leaders and job stewards have agreed to this. Okay, so those were the rules. With that said, though, I'm gonna go to one of the videos of the event. And you tell me whether or not this looks like a campaign event.
I don't want to do it too early. I did it very early with Pocahontas. I should have probably waited. She's staging a comeback on Sleepy Joe. I don't know who's going to win, but we'll have to hit Pocahontas very hard again if she does win. But she's staging a little bit of a comeback. What a group. Pocahontas and Sleepy Joe. I don't think they give a damn about Western Pennsylvania, do you? I don't think so.
Do you care about Western Pennsylvania? Do you care about Pennsylvania?
He cares about it, of course, because of the campaign. I'm sure that it was just an accident or coincidence that he happened to be holding this non-campaign event in one of the states that he won to beat Hillary Clinton in an upset, Pennsylvania. And so why does it matter if it's a campaign event or not? If it's a campaign event, he has to pay. If it's not a campaign event, we have to pay. So he made the taxpayers pay for that. And by the way, when he does do campaign events like the one he did in El Paso, he doesn't pay anyway because he's a criminal. He never pays his bills. And he says, oh, when I go bankrupt, that's me not paying my bills. That's smart business. No, that's being a crook. And so he does it over and over again. So sad. Now he went from $50 paying out of his pocket to $700, but having Shell pay it for him. So the oil companies pay the union guys to show up there and say, hey, and if you protest against them, remember, you're gonna lose that money and we're gonna crush you. So this is what fascism looks like.
What I thought was interesting about that video, I didn't look at his face while he was talking. I was actually paying close attention to the expressions on the union workers' faces. It was something I enjoyed doing. So just a quick tip in case you want to rewind the video and watch again. And then finally, one other thing that he did, which further reinforces the point that we're making about this being a campaign event, he turned that entire speech into like a movie trailer. And it's too long. I don't want to show it because it's just too lengthy, but like with music and everything, making him look heroic.
Everything's a campaign ad for him.
Exactly.
And how is that not, why are taxpayers paying for that? It's outrageous. And I was looking at the same thing, Anna. There was a couple of guys who liked it and you could tell like Trump, and everybody else is like, normally at a campaign rally, when he does racial stuff like Pocahontas, oh, they love it. When the guys who voluntarily show up, you see here though, it's a muted crowd. You know, polite applause. They're not going crazy when he says Pocahontas. A couple of people like it, and the rest are like, I don't know, man. They made us come here.
It's so sad.